Hey everybody, it's me, Matt, and we're going to talk about one of my favorite things, movies. Movies are great, and there's so much to love about them. Quotes, and that's what we're going to talk about today. There's just so many good ones. I'm gonna make you an offer you can't refuse. From The Godfather, or there's I'll have what she's having, because she thinks like the salad will give her orgasms or something. Jaws, you're gonna need a bigger boat. Or from The Dark Knight, why are you so serious? The Joker, trust me, if you get me and my friends together, you're gonna almost hear more movie quotes than regular talking. It's just the way we are. We're just crazy like that. So are those quotes I just said on this list or not? And let's find out in the top 7 movie quotes of all time. Number 7.
What's up with this fool? What is he, Sammich Crazy?
Now, you've probably heard someone call a fool Sammich Crazy, but maybe you didn't know that this quote actually originates from The Fast and the Furious. Me and my friends will say, anytime one of our friends is eating a sandwich, we'll go, what is this fool Sammich Crazy? And then we actually do like a fun variation of it with pizza. If someone's eating pizza, we'll say, what is this pizza, Sammich Crazy? And I think that's the two that we do. But it might be fun to see if it works with. Could you be any other kind of crazy? I don't know, but that's the fun thing about quotes, is changing them and making them different, and it works so great in this movie, because in the movie, Paul Walker's character is eating the tuna at a place that nobody likes the tuna, and you're like, this guy must be sandwich or tuna crazy, I guess, but sandwich crazy, and then you find out he's a cop later, and we know that cops love tuna. So anyway, it's a super versatile quote that's really stood the test of time, and you might even remember it from Subway's 2001 Sammich Crazy promotion that they did. Pretty cool. Number 6.
You never had me. You never had your car.
This quote was cemented into the minds of America and the world when it was beautifully satirized in the You Never Had Me sketch on Saturday Night Live. In the sketch, Will Ferrell turns a friendly game night into an ordeal that would make even the Toretto family blush. When Ferrell's brother-in-law, played by host Vin Diesel, tells him that he almost had him in the last game, Will starts telling everybody that they never had him, they never had their Jenga block, they never had their glass of wine, they never had the love of their wife. This rock-solid Vin Diesel quote, paired with the physical comedy of Will Ferrell, locked it in as one of the most memorable and best movie quotes of all time. Number 5.
Ow! I smell skanks.
This is another quote that I actually say all the time, for real. I'll go over to my grandma's, and she'll be like, had been cooking all day, and I'll walk in, and I swear, I'll walk in and I'll go, "Rear, I smell skanks." And then she'll be like, "What's a skank?" And I'm like, look it up on Urban Dictionary. And then she'll say, "What's Urban Dictionary?" And I'll be like, "Grandma, I'm live streaming. You're killing like the vibe on my stream. Like, knock it off." And she's like, what do you mean you're live streaming? And I'm like, "Grandma, shut up. They're like, everyone's clowning me on the stream now. Like, stop. You're being a dumb old lady." And then the stream, and then like I start losing all my like the donations go way down, and like, I don't know how to act sometimes on a stream, because like I try to do like the shock value thing, but then like my grandma's crying. And so, and then they get mad about that. It's like, I thought that's what I was supposed to do. It was supposed to be like crazy and out there and like pranking people. And so I'm like apologizing to my grandma. And then like half the people are like, "Yeah, you should." And then the rest of the people are calling me like names and stuff. And I lose a lot of viewers, but it's a great quote, and that's why it's on this list. Number 4.
You can have any brew you want.
Now hold on. This one's a little tricky. Most people remember this quote as, "You can have any brew you want, as long as it's a Corona. But I think there's a little bit of a Mandela effect going on here. If you're not familiar with the Mandela effect, it has to do with false memories or maybe even alternate timelines. Popular Mandela effects were the Berenstains bears or just like people? And then there's also, did Curious George have a tail or did he have two tails? And people remember these things differently, or they swear when they were a kid that's what it was. But now it's different. And the name comes from the pudgy little bully on the Simpsons. A lot of people remember his name as Nelson Mandela. But look it up. It's actually Nelson Muntz. Now, which one do you remember? But back to the quote. I paid someone on Fiverr, an impressionist, $150 to do an impression of how people remember the quote. So here's that.
You can have any brew you want, as long as it's a Corona.
But now let's take a listen to what Vin Diesel actually says in the movie.
You can have any brew you want. God, you're so beautiful.
Crazy, right? I can't tell you how many times I've heard people say, as long as it's a Corona. I've seen it on shirts, on stickers, but nope. This is actually the scene where Dom lets Brian know that he thinks he's beautiful. And personally, I wish more people remembered the quote correctly, but either way, great quote. Number 3.
I live my life a quarter mile at a time.
I think everybody remembers where they were when they first heard this quote. Watching The Fast and the Furious. What Vin Diesel's saying here is that he doesn't plan his life ahead any more than a quarter mile. I think it's and that is cool, but it would be hard. Like if you lived like a mile away from the store, you couldn't make a plan to go to the store, unless I guess maybe you could do a loophole of like, well, I'm going to make a plan to drive a quarter of a mile towards the store. And then when you get there, make another plan to drive. Like now my new plan is to drive another quarter of a mile closer to the store. And then you do that a couple more times until the third time you go, I'm going to drive to the store. And so it's, if there's a loophole like that, it doesn't really seem like that cool. Maybe that's not what he means. I guess I don't know what he means. But what a cool quote. Number 2.
I just went in there, and Hector is going to be running 3 Honda Civics with spoon engines. And on top of that, he just came into Harry's, and he ordered 3 T66 turbos with NOS and a Motec system exhaust.
Now, you might be wondering what makes this piece of dialogue so special. Well, it took place on the first day of filming, and unbeknownst to the director or anyone on the crew, Paul Walker lied in his audition when he said he was a car guy. In fact, prior to filming, Paul Walker had never even driven or seen a car in real life. But there was no specific dialogue written. In the script, it just says, Brian mentions car parts. And yep, you guessed it, Paul Walker made it all up. Sure, now things like Motec, Nitrous, Honda Civic are all household names, but they were actually created as marketing for the film Fast and the Furious after Paul Walker made it up. And for that reason, this is the second greatest movie quote of all time. Number 1.
It don't matter if you win by an inch or a mile. Winning's winning.
I have a feeling that before most of you even finished this video, you already commented that it doesn't matter if you win by an inch or a mile, better be number 1. Well, here it is. Such a powerful quote. And so true. It doesn't matter if the other guy is an inch or a mile behind you. As long as you cross that finish line first, you won. And it would be a lot more impressive if you won by a mile. But it's still a win, And as far as my gosh, if this is like a foot race, you won by a mile? My gosh, that's crazy. That would be really impressive, much more impressive than winning by an inch, I think. So, well, it's like in the other quote too, these guys do races at a quarter mile at a time. So winning by a mile is even like impossible. If you won a quarter-mile race by a mile, you've bent the rules of time and space. So, even like, yeah, what if it was a 2-mile foot race and you won by a mile? That would matter. That'd be news. Maybe this isn't that great of a quote. Number 1. It's very cool that he wants to have sex with 2 ladies at the same time, and that's why this is the number 1 movie quote of all time. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please don't comment the quotes that you think are the best movie quotes of all time. This is the top 7 movie quotes of all time. So there's no need for you to say what you think should have been in here, because I already made the video, and we're done. It's done. I hope that if there's other videos out there that are called top movie quotes of all time, they'll delete their videos. But this is it, okay? It says right in the title, top 7 movie quotes of all time. If other movies come out, this is all time, so it doesn't matter, okay? I know you might be thinking, well, what if a better movie quote comes out later? It's irrelevant. This is it. So it would be very upsetting to me if you tried to say, do I make you horny or lucky, punk? Do you feel lucky, punk? If you say that should have been in here, I'll block you and I'll ban you from YouTube and Facebook. So thanks again. Do subscribe though. Even if you were going to leave a quote that's not as good as the ones I put in here, dude, go ahead and subscribe. And bye.